Hi guys, today we're going to talk about the Netflix stock price drops down to 35%, which is posting the biggest fall since 2004. So we checked Netflix price just now, and obviously it's so down. So I'm guessing the 2004 fall. Whoa, wee.
We did read a lot of news related to Netflix saying, is this worth, is the current stock price worth what Netflix is currently? And, it started going down, but I guess it didn't go down this far. So, what a sad graph, guys. But let's continue reading. For the second time this year, shares of streaming company fell sharply after disappointed investors. Oh no. Ow. Netflix shares fell 35.1% on Wednesday, recording their worst day since 2004 after the streaming giant reported that it lost subscribers in the first quarter.
That's not a good news for investors. Uh-oh.
So William Ackman, the billionaire investor who bought more than 3 million shares of Netflix in January, said Wednesday that the fund had sold its stake at a loss. And in the letter to investors, they said Netflix would reduce return at the fund for 4 percentage point, which implies a $4 million loss. $400 million loss. And then in January, Mr. Ackman said Netflix sported an attractive valuation. On Wednesday, he wrote, "We have lost confidence in our ability to predict the company's future prospects." The shares shed more than a third of their value, finishing down 122.42 to 226.16.
That's when he bought it. Bought more than three. In January. He bought it more in January. Sorry. So he bought it in January? This 2022 January? What is this January? Is this January 2022? 20222? Finishing down 120. Lost to 226.16, which is current price. Wow, because of him selling it, it just went blah. Wow, look at even the graph. It's like, yeah.
So investors had expected that the company would add new users in the quarter. Instead, Netflix said it ended the first 3 months of the year with 200,000 fewer subscribers than it had in the fourth quarter. Instead, it's expected to lose 2 million global subscribers in the current quarter.
For this paragraph, I guess the question we could ask here is, why are they losing so many subscribers, guys? Aren't there so many good things on Netflix that people want to watch? Or are other subscription streaming platforms better, like Disney? Because honestly, there's so many good films like K-dramas on Netflix and everything. So subscription fee, reason one. So subscription fee increased. So what's the current price? I think the first time when I heard about Netflix, it was at what, $10, right? Let's talk about the subscription fee for Netflix. It hasn't been $10 in a long time. Sorry, that's the first time I heard it. So if I don't know it, I don't subscribe to Netflix, because for me, even $10 it feels so expensive. Because oh wait, maybe it's actually not though. So now it's at what, like $16 per year? Or sorry, per month, right? Basic is still $10. So basic, well, it's not that expensive, no? Also, I heard that there was like 2 million Russian accounts they canceled. Maybe that's why they said it expected to lose 2 million global subscribers. Maybe this is the Russian oppas. Yeah, that would make sense. So it hasn't been, 15.49 for 1080p, 2 screens. Basic isn't HD. So if you wanted to see something fancy HD and allow 2 screens at a time, it's $16 monthly. $16, which means yearly, how much is that? $192? Is that what I'm getting? Oh, and so 16 is kind of like the minimum. And 20 for 4K UHD and 4 concurrent streams. Oh, that's so expensive. Why pay $16 a month when you get Amazon Prime Video for free with Amazon Prime and they have good content? Amazon Prime is also expensive though, right? $15 for Amazon Prime, so it's still the same price. But I guess maybe Amazon Prime you're offered different variety of things. What are some other reasons? I think we did read about Disney or other streaming platforms that's being very, or that's better, I guess. So let's talk about maybe their competitors such as Disney. HBO Max would be another. In recent content, it takes 3 months to pass the same program as Korea and 2 for USA. Really? So you're always delayed. That really sucks. No wonder. Anyways, the poll resulted as 6 people are not subscribed to any streaming services. 6 people are actually using more than 4, and then the other was like 2 or 3. So not that, like, there's no one who's using just one. It seems that if you are gonna use one, you'll just use 2 or more. So it seems that, you know, we have a point of why why Netflix is losing 2 million and 200,000 subscribers, or they're off by 200,000 or fewer. We kind of understand why Netflix said it ended with less than 200,000 subscribers than it had in the 4th quarter, and that they're expected to lose 2 million global subscribers. Of course, Russia makes sense because of the war, but still in other countries, they're not really wanting to watch Netflix anymore. But it kind of makes sense for other countries because they probably have their own streaming platform. For instance, Korea, I bet there were other channels that was showing the Squid Game and that you didn't really need to do Netflix. Or, I mean, the Squid Game ended, so there hasn't been anything that's been like, oh my god, if I want to see something that's really popular, I have to go see it at Netflix. Let's move on to the article and then see any other points that we can pinpoint.
Several other streaming stocks fell Wednesday. Paramount Global finished down $3.12 or 8.6% to $33.16. Warner Bros. Was off as well. Walt Disney and Spotify also lost, down to 122.49. The fall in Netflix share represented its biggest single-day percentage drop since October 15, 2004, when it fell 41% after saying it would cut subscription fees and postpone planned international expansion. Also, they did it once and lost 41% in October 2004. Oh no! It slashed $54.3 billion from the company's market capitalization, its largest one-day market cap loss on record. Well, it is the second time the share has tumbled this year. In January, Netflix shares slid more than 20% when the company said it expected to add a much smaller number of subscribers than it did 1 year prior. The stock is down 62% this year, including Wednesday's fall.
So question time. How come by them saying it's expected to add a much smaller number of subscription, it lost 20%? Why do you think it lost 20 just when Netflix said some out of true story? Is it because they don't see the future in Netflix? Because if they're not gonna grow, if this is the maximum that they could get and they don't see a potential, the price is gonna fall? Because honestly, I think Netflix or any streaming services did get a good push because of COVID, since everyone had to be home, like we had the lockdowns and everything, so the only thing they could do was watch streaming platform. But you know, like, it's reality, right? Do we know what their subscriber count is now compared to pre-pandemic? Maybe we could compare. Oh, now it's at 222 million. I wonder if they have like a, not just of 2022, but of all year. Oh, here. So before COVID time, using this article, this statistics, which is number of Netflix paying streamers subscriber in the US and Canada from first quarter 2013 to 4th quarter 2012. So COVID started 2019 December, so maybe around 60 million, and it jumped to 69, so 10 million jumped in 1 quarter. But I honestly thought the graph would kind of look more like this. Honestly, I think 10 million isn't enough, so maybe we have to include the internationals. Maybe we could find something with the international included. But just in the US, maybe because US wasn't really a lockdown country, since you still could have gone out. I still remember they said it was lockdown, but I was going to my office and everything. So if you look at it, this isn't that much. So I found one that's worldwide from Finance Online, and they said from 2017 quarter one was 94 million, and we are assuming maybe quarter four, quarter one, quarter two, around this area. It should be a huge leap, but so leap of 20 million here. But here is also 10 million. Honestly, this is a nice graph. 이렇게 가잖아. It's not exponential. And then now, since 2020 was what, 203 million. 2022, they're saying it's 22 million, right? Oh, I'm actually surprised that I thought it would be more numbers, but maybe people are pirating more with Netflix. Many movie studios are no longer licensing their movies to Netflix. Instead, they are keeping those movies for their own streaming service. The movie Netflix does offer all old but do not have A-list stars. It really wasn't the public triggering the sell-off of Netflix. It was the hedge fund dumping it all at once and other funds doing same. Once public saw the dump, they did the same so they wouldn't lose money. So actually, to kind of summarize why Netflix lost 35% today was from this guy who basically trolled Netflix saying, hey, I'll buy your share, and bought 3 million shares of Netflix in January. And all of a sudden today he's like, I don't see potential growth in your service, so let me sell it. And then people who had Netflix were probably like, oh my god, guys, suddenly Netflix is -2, -3, -10, -20. So they started selling. So it's not, I guess they're at like a steady point of $222 million. 222 million subscribers. And there's potential of downfall from there, and no future in seeing growth. So that's probably why this William Ackman, the billionaire investor, saw or realized that and decided to sell Netflix, which is really awful in terms of the company perspective. So continuing with the article, guys.
Users flocked to Netflix in the initial month of COVID pandemic as lockdown and measure to contain the virus kept people at home, sending company share price to record highs. Easing the risk of restriction and an increase in competition from other streaming service over the past year have presented hurdles to Netflix growth. That's what we're talking about right now. No one was expecting Netflix to announce they lost subscribers. They were expecting a slowdown in subscriptions, but seeing Netflix lose subscribers is a big deal. More than 100 million Netflix shares traded hand on Wednesday, the first time it had crossed that milestone since 2015. Some individual traders appeared to be buying the dip. The company was by far the most purchased stock of Fidelity's brokerage platform, according to the firm's website.
Wow, look at Google stock, by the way. Well, share performance. Wow, it's 100% performance for Google. And then 50%. Meta, Facebook이지. Netflix did worse than Facebook. 셌지.
Meanwhile, option trader volume tied to the stock exploding on Wednesday with around 15 times the active seen on typical day. Netflix is one of the original FANG stocks, a quartet of large internet companies that reflected the dominance of the technology stock of US market. Netflix said it is exploring offering a lower priced ad-supported version of the platform to boost its subscriber base, a shift for a company that has sold itself since its inception as a commercial-free haven for its members. The company had increased its subscription fee earlier this year to $16. Anyways, the step adds to investors worrying that raising price will curtail consumer spending on non-essential goods and services, which we just talked about. Price is too expensive. People are asking, is it worth it? As price raised, the worth threshold is being pulled higher, and that pushing people to the exit. The company's result also attracted the attention of Tesla's Elon Musk, who has made and then suddenly of Twitter, okay.
So that's Netflix for you guys. Can you believe it? 35% down. So what are some ways that Netflix can try to increase? Maybe make movies and show that the public want to watch instead of pushing an agenda. Oh, to do that. Netflix AR VR? Suddenly go into AR and VR? Wait, that would be very interesting, but do you think the technology is good enough for them to stay in the market and start releasing AR and VR? Just wanted to point out, I know you guys been mentioning, you guys are saying Netflix content actually sucks. Why are you guys saying Netflix content sucks? Why? What makes you think whatever is being shown on Netflix is not worth $16 a month? They have a lot of B movies. Netflix is going into gaming. They took away the Stranger Things license from the Dead by Daylight game, and they have a few games on their service. So if we compare Netflix with all the other streaming platform, guys, which streaming platform has the best content? Like, it's actually worth your money, because you guys are saying, Netflix has too many B movies, B quality movies, or like, you know, poor quality movies, and there's nothing really to watch. Then where would you actually want to spend your money? Like, maybe Disney? Because honestly, I know you guys are saying, Netflix doesn't have good content, but for me, there's so many good things to see on Netflix. So a lot of what Netflix has to offer is rather mediocre in terms of script, concept, talent. Their originals are very politically driven, which makes for a... Oh, really? So their original films are very, like, politically driven? Virtual reality sales statistics show the number of VR, AR devices shipped worldwide is expected to increase to 68.6 million units in 2023. So you really think maybe VR and AR is how Netflix should go about? From all the service I have, I would say Viki for K-dramas and Prime for everything else. Amazon Prime, it seems a lot of people are using it. Netflix used to license movies and shows from Universal, Paramount, and other studios that people wanted to watch. Now those shows are on other apps, Star and etc. True. Yeah, I think also what Samchun said, that they have more competitors and they're losing, I guess, their original films. If they just want to increase the share price, they'll buy back shares. Oh, I guess if they... Sorry, my question was more like, if they want to get more subscribers, what would they do? What could they do? And I guess if they want more subscribers, it's either, I guess, make better quality, but that's so much money. Ugh. So if you guys were, you know, the chairman of Netflix, and you had a chance to backseat Netflix right now because they just lost 35% of their share, or yeah, and you're so mad because that's all your money, what would you backseat to Netflix? Get a sports deal. So target sports or expand to overseas market. Don't you think it's already overseas? Better content is best solution, or buy studios. Long-term solution like AR, VR will not solve investor concerns. Sports is the main reason people still have cable. Yeah, but sports have their own channels, don't they? Do what customers want, not what critiques deemed goods. So as a customer, you guys are customers, what do you guys want? Good content. To be honest, I would have already canceled Netflix, but my parents said they would pay for it, so they pay, and I watch an occasional show or K-drama on it. Yeah, a lot of kid stuff with my nephew. So when I saw this trending at first, I thought it was a positive reason, but Netflix losing sub in first quarter 2022 news was really hard, for at least for me to relate, because I don't really sub to a lot of streaming platform, especially because I'm a streamer. I just have two because I like watching Korean shows, or just watch YouTube, because there's always, I think YouTube kind of killed a lot of streaming platforms, since they make short versions of the film or anything, and because they have that, like, sometimes if I watch it so much, then I can be like, oh, I kind of want to watch the whole show. But normally, like, on YouTube, they have movie reviews and everything. So I'd rather spend 30 minutes or 15 minutes watching a movie review that's being aired on Netflix than actually watching the show. So, which is really bad for me to say, but it's much easier, and it, like, I understand the story much faster if there's narration going. I honestly think they need to figure out a better way to go against YouTube first, since YouTube is actually killing a lot of anything that's long, like long videos or any of those. So anyways, to conclude Netflix, just wanted to say it really sucks they lost 35%, and I do agree with chat where you guys said maybe because this big investor Opar came in and he's just like, I don't see potential, which maybe we might not be able to see the potential, or maybe he knows some insights and he just sold like couple million, like a million stocks, which decreased, and people started panicking saying, oh, maybe it's actually not worth the value. So it really sucks to be on Netflix's side or company's mind. However, they really need to do something better about the content that they're providing, because it seems that they're not that good, or compared to other competitors that they have, it's really bad. So even if you make 1 out of million good ones, people still want more. So that's something that they have to work on, and their subscription fee is a bit expensive. For instance, people are only paying $5 to watch Twitch. Not even 5. So if you're making people spend $16, almost minimum, so expensive. So yeah, good luck, Netflix.